What up, Kings? Hope you're well. In this video, I want to talk about how rewarding mediocrity ruined the advertising business.
What if I told you that General Motors, the American icon that taxpayers rescued with a $50 billion bailout, will soon cease to exist, and they engineered their own destruction? Welcome to Connecting the Dots, the channel where we follow the breadcrumbs to predict where disruptions will take us. I've spent years investigating disruptions, but what I uncovered about GM shook me to my core. GM will soon die, but this isn't just corporate mismanagement. This is the story of an American giant systematically dismantled by a Chinese state-owned company, with GM's own executives cheering them on. Here's what most people know. GM has a successful partnership with Chinese company SAIC, pronounced SAIC, in what appears to be a mutually beneficial relationship. GM got access to the world's largest car market. SAIC got Western technology. And together, they've sold millions of cars in China. Overall, it's a win-win, right? Not exactly. The truth is far more sinister. What started as a joint venture became a slow-motion corporate execution. GM didn't just hand over their technology. They trained their executioners. They didn't just retreat from global markets. They followed SAIC's lead, closed shop wherever possible, and helped their Chinese partner fill the void. And they didn't just import Chinese cars to America, they became the Trojan horse bringing them in. But here's the most shocking part. A major shift is coming. And when the clock strikes midnight, GM will face a choice between two forms of death. One enriches executives, the other shames them. So it's clear which path they'll choose.
It's no surprise, is it, that a big company like GM is going to get wiped out because of mismanagement. All this is a symptom, unfortunately, of rewarding mediocrity. And we've seen this story play out even going back as far as Enron. If you guys remember in 2000, that was 25 years ago. But those guys were smart. Enron guys were geniuses. They were just scammers. But in this case, I don't think GM people were scammers per se. I think it's just corporate greed that just got out of hand. What happens in GM is also happening in the ad business, in a lot of corporations in the United States, where everybody's focusing on the short-term gains and then completely ignoring the long-term consequences of taking those short-term gains. I've seen this play out multiple times where you just wonder, why would you make a decision like that? That doesn't even make any sense. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Don't you care about your business? Do you want to lose your business in the next 3 to 5 years? I guess they don't care. They don't think that 5 years will come. A lot of people don't think 3 years will come. It's because it's all about now. How can I eat now? No delayed gratification. But you know who's good at delayed gratification? The Chinese. The Chinese were experts. You have to remember something. This is a civilization that's been around for a long time, for thousands of years. They've survived. These Chinese guys, they made those decisions decades ago. In the same way that they made decisions that are causing GM to implode right now. Those decisions were made decades ago. So when new management comes in to manage GM, they think, hey, they're gonna be in charge, only to find out that they're not really in charge like that. Aren't we seeing luxury brands getting wiped out because they don't really run their manufacturing? The Chinese are the ones that are controlling the back end. So who's really got the power here? I saw that there's so many celebrities that used to sell these high-end products or these high-end bags. They're just losing money now because the Chinese are just flooding the market with the same quality that they used to give to these celebrities. The celebrity will pay, let's say, $30 to the factory for that bag and charge you $1,500 for it. Now the Chinese just said, you know what? Because of these tariffs, we're just going to flood the market. This is what happens when you reward mediocrity. There's so many decision makers at a lot of these companies, a lot of these ad agencies that are completely incompetent. And the only reason why they got to that level is brown nosing, or they have a big loud mouth with no substance. So when you reward these types of people, those people are just going to be there for, whatever they can gain in the moment. They don't care about your business in the next 3 to 5 years. They don't care about that. If you're still in business, oh well. If you're not in business, hey, it's not my problem. It's not their problem. They'll move on to the next bigger shiny object. There are a lot of people that have what we call shiny object syndrome. I don't blame them. Do you? Imagine you are a 10-year or 15-year veteran in the game and you've been told we're family, or every company you go to, you've been lied to that you're family. Eventually, you're going to stop caring. Eventually, you're going to tune out. You're going to be like, you know what? Let me get mine. Let me get what I can out of this. This is exactly what happened at GM. Every single executive, every single CEO that came out of GM was out for their own personal gain. To hell with the outcome in the long term. Can I get my bonus this year? Is all I care about. So what that does, it makes the other side that you're working with, they see all this. And then they'll give you deals that will become traps. This is how a lot of musicians, think about the Michael Jacksons, Prince, that's why he had to change his name to the artist. They got caught up in all these music contracts because they signed them when they were desperate. And then when they blew up, they discovered, wait a minute, this thing was a scam. It's the exact same thing that happened to GM. They're discovering late in the game that they've been scammed. But the executives at GM cannot come out and tell the truth because that would be like self-shaming to save face. There's something called saving face. It's a thing. Okay, there's certain cultures that like to do that. Even in my own culture, we have the whole concept of saving face where, a village elder, even if he's wrong, he doesn't want to admit that he's wrong until somebody calls him out. Like, hey, that's the only time that he crumbles. It's rough because a lot of agencies are going to be caught up, especially with this new wave of AI. And how AI is taking over everything. Roles and responsibilities are going to have to change because of AI. The entire way that you're going to have to do business has to be AI first. And if your current staff has no incentive to bring in those changes, then you're going to lose in this new season. You're going to completely get wiped out. I have to also mention this. A lot of what is happening in a lot of these companies is a symptom of the culture, a culture that rewards mediocrity. Let's look at, doctors are quitting their jobs. Can you imagine? If you were to tell me in 2025 that doctors will be quitting their jobs and OnlyFans models are going to become millionaires, I'd have told you that's crazy. What do you mean somebody gets paid millions of dollars to take the clothes off? It makes no sense, does it? But this is the culture that we're rewarding, mediocrity. It's only a matter of time until that same level of mediocrity seeps into your business. And if you don't know how to vet that mediocrity out, it's going to affect your entire business. And one day, you're just going to wake up. You got a bunch of very mediocre people on staff, and you don't know how to get rid of them because they're going to cost you so much money. Meanwhile, your competitor has got a fraction of the staff and they're managing the same amount of business as you. How are you going to compete with that? You're just going to bleed out. Your entire business is going to implode. And this is what we're about to see in the next 12 to 18 months. Entire businesses, entire agencies are going to implode. The good news is there's a solution to this problem. The solution is two-part. Number one, you either teach your existing staff on all these AI tools that are on the marketplace and you insist that they learn everything. Number two, you get rid of them. Then you restructure your entire agency to become an AI-focused agency first. If not that, then sayonara. See you on the flip side. It's going to be rough. It's going to be rough for a lot of people. I'm not happy about this because it's going to require a lot of pain. A lot of uncomfortable conversations are going to need to be had in the next 12 to 18 months. I promise you, whatever the Googles of the world are doing, whatever the Microsofts are doing with the mass layoffs and restructuring, you're going to have to do that and copy that strategy. And it's not easy. The learning curve is brutal. But I hope you guys got some value from this video. If you guys are ready to work with the best, when it comes to activating your programmatic campaigns, we're focused on AI to help us with strategy, tactics, as well as coming up with creative so that when you activate your campaigns, you're going to triple even more your ad conversions. I've put a link in the description of this video. Schedule some time. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link to this video because it's really long. It's like almost an hour long and I don't want to bore you with the entire video. If you want to watch the rest of the video, I'm going to put a link to this video in the description of this video as well. Schedule time. I'll talk to you soon.